Hi everyone, it's Nicole, and I have another layout using the July Valley High Studio Calico kit. I just want to apologize. My voice is really terrible today. I woke up this morning with a sore throat, and but I thought I'd do this. I have 3 pages done, so I want to try and get the voiceover done so that I can upload a page every second day. And these pictures are of our, I was going to say puppy. He was 11 years old, but we got him when he was a puppy, and I've always called him a puppy. And he was my son's dog, and we had to put him down a little over a month ago. It was October 17th. And when it happened, I looked for these pictures, and I could not find them. And then the last page, when I was looking for pictures of me to put on that page, then I found the pictures. So I thought, well, I know where they are, so I want to scrap them. And I'm going to do more than just one layout. For this time, I'm just going to do the one, but I'm going to do a few of them. So we got Jake when my son was 3 years old, and now my son is 14. So, losing his dog, it was like losing, a member of his family. He had never known life without his dog. So it was quite an emotional time in our house. And to tell you the truth, what surprised me the most was how hard I took it. It's not that I didn't love him or anything like that, but it's just, I just didn't think I was gonna take it that hard. But the morning that I knew that we were taking him to the vet, I lost it. Like, I was just like a little kid. But anyway, so I just want to make sure that, I want to scrapbook a couple. This was taken about 2 years ago, and I could tell then that, he's getting old. So I did kind of a photo session with him and my son, so that we would have nice pictures of him and his dog, when he was a little older. And I meant to do some this summer, and you know what? With all the overtime I did, I didn't get around to it. So, and then when we knew we were going to take him in, I didn't feel like it was, the right time to do it. So we didn't take any pictures of him, recently. But so that background paper was perfect because it's all love sayings, and you are my happy, and you are so loved. So I thought that was perfect. So I used that as the background. I used the yellow because he's a golden retriever, so it really brought out his colors. And then I used, from the 6x6 pad, I used again that paper with all the sayings, and then the black and white polka dot, and then it was like a cork like paper. And now I knew I had some flares that were about dogs, so I went through all my flares and was searching. So I ended up finding 2 that's about dogs. I found more than that, but they just didn't coordinate with the page. And then I also had punched out 3 circles using one of the smaller 4x6 paper pad. So this time around, I seem to have used the 4x6 paper, or maybe this was the first time that I got it. I can't quite remember, but I didn't think that I was going to use it much, but I did use it quite a bit. So we'll see if I'll keep using it. And I just want to let you know, I got that mystery new kit club that I subscribed to. So I'm hoping tonight late or whatever, I'll do the video about it, and I'll upload it probably tomorrow's Sunday. And sorry if I keep clearing my throat. And what else did I do there? I thought at first I was going to do a cluster at the top, but it was just too, constraint. I didn't like it. It was too busy. So I decided against it. So we had gotten, I think it was in the card kit, and it said it was a little wood veneer that said love you. So I'm going to put that on this page. And then I'm going to go through all my stickers that I had pulled aside to, use with this kit. And that didn't necessarily come in this kit, but I knew that I wanted to use with this kit. That way I'm using, I pull from the kit first and see what I can use from that, and then I go to that stash that I had put aside. That way I don't have to look through all my stickers and I already know of, pulled out some stuff that already coordinates with the pages or the papers. So it works out good. So this is an Amy Tangerine sticker. I believe it's from the Cut and Paste collection. And so I pulled out a few stickers, and what I like to do also is use the EK Success powder tool, and I take away the stickiness. And now I'm going through my Freckled Fawn kit. I'm part of their embellishment kit every month, so I'm going through all the embellishment kits and pulling those out, and I really like those metal little frames or circles, but I don't end up using it on this page. I believe I use it on the next page. And I had that bling. I took it out because it had yellow bling. And I just wanted something different than buttons. I seem to be putting a lot of buttons, but plus also where I had put the flares, I didn't want too many round things, so that's why I went with the hearts instead, because I just wanted to vary, the shapes a little bit. So I'm still going through the Freckle Fawn little tin that they send us with. That's part of your kit. And there are some cork little stickers, and I thought maybe that I could put the one with the little heart, the house with the little hearts in it, but I decided against it. Now I'm taking out these flags, and they're on pins. And I'm going to decide with the one that has the little heart. So again, I don't know exactly where they're going to go in the clusters. Even this time, I seem to be putting it more in the areas that I think, but most of them end up changing anyway. But usually what I do is I plop everything in the middle of the page. I don't even try to, figure out where everything's going to go. I just put everything in the middle of the page. And once I find like I have a nice little amount, that I think that I have enough to there. I'm so glad that I started stopping the recording to see more often to make sure that everything's recording, because I went to 8:37 and I stopped it, and it had stopped at 7:58. So I would have had to record the whole thing. But this way, I only have to redo a minute. So what I was saying was I just put everything in the middle of the page. But what I tried to do is, like the tiny stickers, like the yellow ones, is I try to at least take 3 out. And if I take tags or yellow stickers, I try to take 3 out, because I usually have, 3 spots for embellishments. So I make sure that I have enough for each cluster. So by the time I start moving everything around, on the page to try to put everything in every cluster, then I don't have to keep going back because I have, not enough stuff. Because then I know that I'm going to have enough. I did decide on one black sticker, and it says, I love you more today than I did yesterday. And I thought that was quite fitting. And I mean, there's black that I had put in behind the photos, and then each cluster has black on the flare, so I thought that was enough. And also you can put in things in one cluster, not all in all 3. I find if you leave it so it's uneven, it's still okay. So now I'm just going to keep looking through the stickers. And this one here from Dear Lizzie, it said laugh and play. And that's, a lot of what they did together. Well, the dog didn't laugh, but they played. And and then I pulled out one of the clips that said love, and it was in gold. And you know that I've said this many times that I'm not a gold fan, but I found this went really well with this page because of the yellow, and I'm just going to stick it at the top of the layout. And then I'm not too sure where I went off to, but while I'm doing that, this is the 9th layout using the July Valley High Studio Calico kit, and it did take me an hour and 34 minutes. And this time around, I'm finding I'm using way more pattern paper as my background. So I've already, like I said, I'm already done layout 11 and starting layout 12. But I looked in my bucket and I only have one sheet that's untouched, and everything else is scraps. And for the next layout, I pulled out a lot of papers that were the second sheet. So I don't know if I'm going to get like 20 layouts with this kit, because I've used a lot of papers as full. So it's making it so I'm going to probably get a little less layouts done. So this is some crepe paper, and it came in, I think there was like 3 or 4 colors. And this is sort of a vanilla, or a light color, off-white. And I'm just going to put it in behind the photo or photos just to kind of give it a different texture. And then I'm taking out my Memento ink and my Tim Holtz tool, and I'm going to ink all the edges. And I seem to be on a kick lately to ink up all the edges, which it seems that I go through phases like that. Like if you go through my albums, I'll have sections that everything will be inked, and then I go back to uninked, and I go back and forth. So it just depends, I guess, how I feel. I don't even think about it. I'll just reach for my ink pad and start inking everything. So I inked all the stickers, all the embellishments, and now I'm going to ink the background, or the second background. So like for this page right here, I ended up using basically 2 full sheets of pattern paper for the background, because I have, the one that's in the background, the script one, and then the yellow one I cut it down to 10 by 10, but it's basically like the whole sheet. I only have scraps left of that pattern paper. So I'm going to ink that tag where I'm going to do the journaling. And I figured that journaling is going to be a little bit sensitive, so I want to make sure that it was hidden. My son loves to write, so I'm going to get him to write on the journaling tag, and then he can put it in the in the layout. So when he's an adult, and then he can look back and see what he wrote about his dog. So now I know I want to put that journaling tag, like I said, in behind that layer. So I'm laying it down where I know I want it to be, and I'm putting tape all around so that my tag can still fit in there without sticking onto the tape next to it. And now I'm going to start cutting everything down and putting everything back to how I had it previously. And then glue everything down. I fussed quite a bit with the layers. I had forgotten to ink that left side of the layout. So once I'm finally happy with how it looks, I'm just going to pick up the layers and dab some glue in behind there. and then it's not going to move. I find a lot of times, like, I know it really technically, doesn't really matter, but then the next page after this one, I end up not gluing it exactly where, I wanted it, and then it kind of threw off my layout because I had planned a specific thing and I couldn't do that anymore because it was over to the right a little bit too much. I mean, I made it work, but I was looking at it going, no, that's why I take pictures so that it doesn't, I can remember where it was. So there was this stamp that came in the kit this month, and it said, never forget. So it's a little arrow. So I'm going to take some stays on, and I'm going to glue it down, or stamp it with the stays on. But I think it's time for me to re-ink my stays on because it kind of didn't stamp right the first time, and then I ink it up again, and I went right over top, and it's a little better, but I didn't want to try it a third time, so I just left it. You can read what it says, so I'm okay with it. I decided to leave it before I made more of a mess of it. So now I feel like I have, enough stuff to put in each layer. So now I just gonna fuss with how it's all going to lay, in its place. And basically what I try to do is, there is a lot of stuff going on in each area because I have all these papers. So I'm trying to, as I lay those little pieces of stickers and that kind of stuff, I just try to make sure that it touches a little bit of each layer, if that makes any sense. So when I put that yellow sticker, I made sure that it touched that crepe paper, and it touched the black paper, it touched the cork paper, and it also touched the circle. And then when I put the flare on, the flare touched the circle and then the stickers beside it. So I go around each little embellishment cluster and I do the same thing. I just make sure that everything kind of touches, and what it does, it avoids any, when people say trapped white space, because then it looks like it just doesn't quite belong there, and you just don't know why, it just doesn't, something doesn't click. And this, did you see, like when I first put the love you, I had put it down and it looked like it was floating, so all I did was moved it up maybe 1/8 of an inch, and it was touching the sticker that was above it, and then it looked like it was grounded. So just that little difference can make the difference whether or not, it looks like it should be there or shouldn't be there. And next to that arrow that I stamped, there's a little hashtag, like it was, like somebody was tweeting. So I'm going to put that next to never forget. And now I'm just playing with the rest of the stickers that I had kind of threw in the middle of the page. And I'm going to add it to all the different clusters. At first I thought I put it next to, the dog and my son, because it talks about mainly the dog, dependable, trustworthy, and loyal, because he was that and so much more. He was such a good dog, he, I remember this one time we were camping and my son was in the water, and he was maybe, I don't know, 4, and he was in shallow water, and he'd be on his stomach and he'd be yelling, help, help, pretending to the dog that he was drowning, and the dog would run in the water, pick him up by his swimming trunks and pull him out of the water, and he would do it over and over and over again. Never got tired of it. If you need me to save you, I'll save you every time. And he didn't give up. He just kept doing it, and we thought it was so cute. And we have an alarm system, and sometimes when the battery would die, it would make a beep. He would come in our room and he would he knew something was wrong downstairs and he didn't know what it was, like it could have been a fire, right? He would come in our room and he would not let go. He would hit the bed and, you know, you got to come. And then as soon as my husband would wake up, he'd walk out of the room and come back, you know, like, you got to come and check this out. There's something going on with. So he was a good dog. All that to say, he was a good puppy. So now I want to do his name in those cork stickers that we got in this month's kit, and I'm going to take my Hero Arts white ink, and I love that ink. It's wonderful to change the colors of your letters. I put the white ink first, and then I put the color that I want. What I used to do was use my Studio Calico, the white, but I had to paint it and stuff, and it would take forever. But this way, and then I have the Hero Arts butter bar also in the daubers, so it's awesome. I have maybe 5 or 6 of the different colors. They don't make it in all the colors yet. I think they were just trying to see if, you know, they were gonna be popular, and then hopefully bring them out for the rest of the colors. So I'm just going to set, I did use my heat tool on them, but then I'm going to set them on the wax paper. One, to kind of see where I could put, you know, the title and move it around. And two, also, they kind of finish up drying while I'm, you know, figuring out the rest of the layout to see what else I can put on this layout. Now, I didn't put this layout, like the speed, I didn't make it so that it was super fast. I only did ×4 because ×6 or ×8. I don't know how to do ×6 because it's not an option for me to choose. So I'm going to have to, I don't know, try to figure it out, because ×8 is super fast, and then I feel like I'm racing. And where my throat is, you know, so sore, I didn't feel like I could. So hopefully you don't find that the video is a little, you know, too slow, and I could have, you know, sped it up a little bit. So the title, I'm going to put it right there to the side of the layout, and it's just going to say Jake, you know, my family, because to him, it was even more than, you know, a friend. He was like his family, you know. He used to say, you know, that he was his brother. So, because he doesn't have a brother, he has 2 sisters. So he should say his dog was his brother. And so now I'm going to cover the pictures, and I'm going to ink it up with some Mr. Huey in black and in yellow in all the different clusters. I'm trying to use a little bit more my Mr. Huey and not just my Glimmer Glaze, although it is my favorite to use my Glimmer Glaze, but I have so much Mr. Huey. I don't want them, you know, that they are not used. So I'm trying to force myself to use them a little bit more. So if you want to see some close-ups, you can go to 2 Peas in a Bucket or Studio Calico and go in the members gallery and look for Nicole Jones 911. You can join me on Facebook. The link is in the description. Or you can go on Pinterest, and the link is in the tab on my YouTube channel or on the About tab. If you click there, the link is also there. So that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.